Okay, so we got two roads this time, and there's like a building somewhere nearby here. I'm not really sure which one of these roads I'm on. Trying to track whether or not I'm at the building near it so I can get to it. Yeah, that's it over there. So I'm running a little bit past it. Yeah, there we go. Anything around here? Doors open. Ah, I need this stuff. There's a phone, I suppose I... might as well scrap it. Not much to it, though, honestly. You know how it is, every little bit helps. Time that more perfectly. Exactly is even causing these things. Well, at least I'm out of all this rain. And radioactive dust. And other nastiness too. It's deserted. I mean, usually you can get like maybe... wait, here we go. Yeah, there's a couple of cars here. And let me see, did I refuel my... no, I didn't. Sure was dire when I had to use my original fuel can. It was literally that low on it. Fuel here too. Yeah, I know, it's completely dark, you can't see a thing. But I suppose you're just gonna have to take my word on it that I'm refueling here. Come on. There we go. Okay, that was pretty respectable. Time for a thread of the needle here. And there's a box truck. it should be around... There we go. Ooh, a dumpster pearl. And some backstory. And a blowtorch. Oh lord, I have so needed this. Yeah, I'm just unlocking them. I really don't have that whole... hello? I don't think I have... no, wait. I do have a thingy swingy from my... hold on a minute. Why, oh why, did I put my vacuum cleaner in here? Well, another in the Singlian family saga. I don't even remember when the last time we checked in on them was, so to speak. Do I still have this? I meant to leave it back in the truck. I just don't want it taking up space in my trunk there. There we go. Now let's drain off some of this fuel here too. And we're full. I suppose I could raid this car here. Doesn't look like it. You know what? Who cares? I'm going to instead just keep going here. There's another building. It's on the other side of the highway, though. Oh, did I? I forgot to close the trunk. There shouldn't be too much. Here we are. Just go around a bit. It's a short enough drive that I could probably get away with that. Alright, so I'm trying to determine where, let's see, there's a bit of a shallow slope, and there's a bit of a steep slope. Let me go to the top of this hill and see if I can see the building from there. Or maybe because of the visual glitch, it's actually this way. Yeah, here we go. There's a couple of things over here. I'll take those. These highways can be veritable cornucopias. I think that's everything, so let's get back to the car.
Francis, I don't know if you're listening. A while ago, you asked me why I cared so much about the remnants. It's because I saw Alan the night of the accident, during the mass hallucination. Except, I'm not sure it was a hallucination.
We had a tradition. When we were both working late, he'd swing by my lab for a coffee break at some ungodly hour. That night, he visited. We talked. The coffee burned my tongue. Nothing out of the ordinary. Seconds later, the gamma ray surge swept through the facility and the roof caved in. I looked for him in the aftermath. I couldn't find him anywhere because he hadn't been in my lab. He was ground zero at the accident site, miles away in the deep zone. But I saw him, touched him, smelled his cologne.
He was there. Impossibly there. More than a hallucination.
You never reported that?
Admit to Arda that I communed with my husband's ghost. When they were already looking for ways to push me out, not a chance. I gave them my technology and my home, but I'd be goddamned before I let anything destroy my professional credibility.
And this remnant?
It's my last chance to know if what I saw was true. If it came from the well, or if it was all in my head. The things we spoke of. Things I couldn't have made up. Never mind. I know how it sounds.
Like you've seen a ghost.
Or like Alan isn't actually dead, but in, I don't know. Well, actually, I do have, I've been mulling this over a bit, and I do have an idea or two about what all this is, but I'm afraid I'm gonna have to save my speculation until...
Good news! I can replicate Alan's suppression method. We'll stand some chance of halting the gamma ray burst from the well. 30 years later, my late husband still manages to impress. They're figuring out how to keep you alive once
The reaction gets going, however, that's harder. But I have an idea. Francis, I need your ear.
Go on.
We know that as soon as the car gets to the well, the trigger will be instant. Once this remnant expends its energy, gamma radiation will erupt from the well, and the driver will be at ground zero taking the worst of it.
But can we activate the gateway as soon as they make contact?
It's tricky. Too early, and we may interrupt whatever reaction process the remnant carries out. Too late, and it's bad news for the driver. There's too many unknowns. Only the driver will know the right time to use it.
How can you be sure they'll live long enough to make that call?
The ARC device has been transmitting data every single second since it was installed. Every drop of fuel, every spark plug that car's lit, I have on record.
You've been running an experiment this entire time, with the driver as the guinea pig.
The mere act of being alive is the biggest experiment of all, dear.
Is that another one of Alan's sayings?
That one's all mine. Driver, we've seen that car protect you this entire time. It's triggered a gateway in your time of need. It's ferried you back to the garage through every circumstance and obstacle and bump in the road. So we can trust that it'll protect you long enough to get you away from whatever and wherever you end up.
Still sounds like a heavy dose of blind faith to me.
Could be. Oh, there's one last part to this, and it's waiting for you
you back at the auto shop. Take your time. Enjoy the view.
Okay, let me just reassign that. As I said, I've got an idea as to what's been going on, but it'll have to wait until the next zone. And of course that time is now. Let me just check the... Yeah, we can't get any anchors. Anyway, the theory, the one I was thinking of. So, the well, what exactly is it? Well, it's been claimed at least once that... is that a heartbeat? Who cares? It's been claimed at least once that somehow there's this portal to another dimension, and that's what limb technology is, in a way. It's a portal to another dimension. That was on, well, admittedly just the one graffito, but it fits in a way. So they've got the well, which I'm guessing is the portal to the other dimension. And they keep bringing objects to it. And the gamma radiation, which I imagine they can harness for electrical power or something, is, well, just a side effect. Let me just navigate my way around this rickety wreck here. Actually, maybe it's possible to get in the center of it. Whatever this is to finish. So much. Anyway, whoa, another option. So Lin technology, they create a portal. The portal, I think, is the well into another dimension. And the remnants, well, those, I suppose, are, well, let me put it to you this way. The aliens in the other dimension, I mean, yeah, I imagine the other dimension has life in it of a kind. But this other dimension, this other dimensional life, it doesn't have bodies the way we have bodies. So there's these aliens with no bodies, no physical bodies as we know them. And there's these objects which are being brought into close contact with the well. Well, what better way for the aliens to make contact than by inhabiting these objects? Like that paint can. It made like every color of the rainbow or something like that. And all the while, I mean, I suppose it makes sense in a way. These objects, I guess, the aliens inhabit them as bodies, and they learn about humans, or maybe they do something else with humans, not sure. But whatever their motive, they're inhabiting these things that are dropped in the well. I don't know what they find so offensive about a tungsten cube, or maybe that cube was just a really, really big... I'm sorry? Going to harvest that, but I'm getting out of the way of whatever this thing is now. What the dickens was I? Okay, so the aliens inhabit the objects that are brought to the well, or the objects in the wild that, well, whatever that thing was caused. Regardless, those objects, those remnants, are aliens. Bodiless aliens inhabiting inanimate objects. In fact, I think this car is even one of them. Do you remember back at the beginning, when I first saw the car, it was blinking its headlights, well, it only had one, but it was blinking its one headlight at me. And you know what the first thing I actually said there was? Is there anybody in there? Is anybody in this car? Somebody had to be flashing the headlights. I mean, a car is an inanimate object. It couldn't possibly be flashing its own headlights at me, could it? Well, that appears to be the case here. Maybe that's the case. In fact, let me take you a little bit further back, where I wasn't in the zone yet. I was driving alongside it, right up against the wall. And as you may or may not recall, my battery got hit by an EMP, completely blacked out, and then I got sucked through the barrier, the outermost barrier, car and all. Well, I wake up, likely with a blinding headache and aching all over the place. And what is the first thing I find? Random car parts strewn around here and there, floating in the middle of the air as though, well, gee, maybe it's as though somebody was playing with them? See, look, this is the exact graffiti I'm talking about, this door and all these eyes. So there is some alien thing hanging around out there. It runs into my car. What the? Oh yeah, you don't see one of these every day, do you? Anyway, it runs into my car, and it figures, hey, what is this thing? Maybe I'll make another one of it. It looks familiar. What do they call these things? Oh wait, no, there's a much shorter term for it. Car, yeah. I'm gonna make myself a car. Or inhabit a car. And maybe I'll take this human being who is driving it along with me. After all, that Jones gonna cook him alive if he's not careful. I don't know, maybe it's not so benevolent. But honestly, it fits. It really does. I mean, that paint can was pretty benevolent too, giving that artist all the colors of the rainbow. As for the whole crazy obsessed thing, that might have just been an unfortunate side effect. I mean, I've been driving this car for a while, and I have yet to feel like I have yet to feel that much attachment to it, honestly. I mean, it's a car. It's a good car. But, and it has pulled my onions out of the fire a few times. But then, I haven't felt any crazy obsession with it. Like, I love this car. I'm gonna name this car Bessie. Or anything like that. I mean, I got nothing against people who do name their cars. Or fictional characters who name their cars. But I'm not crazy obsessed with this thing. It's a good car. But I'd be a little more upset if, say, the car I drive in real life, if that old jalopy was was only given, like, 10,000 more miles to live. I'd be kind of, well, I wouldn't be upset, but I'd be more upset about that than if this car was gonna keel over and die. Figuratively speaking. And as for what may or may not have been Alan, I'm beginning to wonder if maybe that was Alan. Maybe all he really did, instead of, dying, was hop through to the other dimension. And he's on the other side there. I don't know, that would be a little too weird, I guess. I mean, those aliens don't have bodies, the laws of physics in another universe are likely different. Maybe he really is dead. Or maybe mentally he's alive. Does this count as... to return through a deep zone gateway. If I return through a mid-zone gateway instead, I mean, am I going to be able to return through a mid-zone gateway, or do I have to return through a deep zone gateway? I don't think anybody actually planned for what happens if I don't immediately start exploring the deep zone. Then again, I don't think maybe they did factor in the idea that there'd be this one mid-zone that it'd be really hard to get to for, well, reasons. And I'd spend all this time trying to get to it. spare fuel. But this, in case you were curious, this is the last zone, the last mid-zone area that I have to unlock. Everything else is going to be wall-to-wall deep zone. I need a pry bar. And I could also use a plasma scrubber. Do I have to spare one of them? Yeah, I do. Okay. I knew I purposely ignored making one thing. I think it was the blowtorch. Because of all the marsh eggs, that thing. Well, it's not the actual end of, well, no, I was not, I didn't mean to... Oh yeah, go ahead, pile it on. I'm getting out of here. Just glad I was given just enough time to do so. And now for the next highway, to G4.